Record on this computer. All right. So it is 5:30 on the nose, and we're gonna get rocking with this. All right. So Steve, that's your microphone there. You should be pretty clear. Do you want to just do a hello, hello?
Hello, hello.
Those of us in the audience, Suzanne, can you hear that? That's clear. Okay, perfection. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in today. My name is Scott McDermott. I'm going to close my door because I can hear my dog howling and wants to come in and visit because he likes me and Steve. I'm really excited today to have my guest in here, Steven Bedford. And we're just going to have a free form talk today. I think we'll cap this. We'll probably be 20, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how it goes. I do have Facebook Live showing as far as I can tell. So if you've got questions or whatever, please fire away in the Facebook chat. And obviously the ladies that are here in person can ask any questions. But Steve and I are just going to talk a little bit about what it's been like on the journey that he's been on since May. And it's pretty exciting thing. So, Steven, welcome.
Thank you.
Pretty fun, right? To be in, it's funny. People see this big fancy podcast room like, oh, this is big. I can touch both walls with my hand. It's little, right? But it does the trick. And we're 6 feet apart. Never mind. All right. So Steven Bedford, Steven, I just wanted to chat a little bit about what your journey's been like, because it's very inspiring what you've gone through. And it's one of those things that needs to be shared with the world, I think. Right?
Yeah, for sure. It's been awesome and crazy.
Yeah. So when I first met Steven, it was a year and a half, a little more than a year and a half ago, when I was shutting down my gym in March of 2020. I ran a gym for 18 years, Best Body Fitness, and we made the difficult decision to close. And I remember Steven he'd made inquiries a couple times. Like, do you have a program that could help me, or do you have this, or how much is that? And you never pulled the trigger.
No, I didn't. I did inquire many times, whether it was equipment or, hey, how much does it cost for your help run a program, or hey, how much does it cost for you to set something up for me in weightlifting? And I was looking.
Yeah,
I was definitely looking for sure.
Yeah, and I know there was a couple times you asked, like, well, can you set me up once the gym was closed? Can you set me up a program for home? And you'd have anything you could give to me? And it just, and we would go back and forth a little bit, and then it would just end.
Yeah, silence.
And then I was putting out the 21-day detox, which I now call the 21-day nutrition reset. And somehow at the end of April, it just triggered you. And it was different.
It was completely different. And I was in the point of making a million different life changes at the time. And I bought a home gym many months before, like I inquired with you before, to try to set something up with programs. I had the equipment. Was I going to do anything with it is the thing. And I dabbled here and there, but yeah, something changed. And I said, and I think I even said when I signed up, I couldn't really afford it at the time. Finances weren't really in order, but I made some things shift around, and I decided, what, I'm going to give it a shot. I was so unhealthy and I was so unhappy.
Yeah.
Incredibly unhappy. And that picture you shared for this Facebook Live event, I was looking at that all day, and you see it, the one on the left, like how big I was. It's not just that, it's my face, my body expression. I was completely 100% unhappy with every aspect of my life.
Yeah. And it's funny, there's a lot of physical changes, but I think one of the most profound things for me is when I talked to you, when you had, because I had said, look, I don't care if you have to make payments on the $97, whatever it takes, buddy. Like, I just want to help. So if you're committed, let's get after this. And I remember you came by the house because you wanted to do an in-person body composition analysis so you could get your starting point and find out what your body fat percentage was and what your muscle and your fat and your water and all those things were. So I said, great. Yeah, come on over. And I remember talking with you at the time and meeting you in person again at that moment. And I got to tell you, like, your energy was in the toilet. You were kind of almost a miserable cuss.
I was a gloom and doom guy.
Yeah, like it was, you just weren't enjoying your life. I could tell. And you were a very different guy.
Yes, 100%. All completely through and through. And I've said that so much, is this changes more than just weight loss and pant sizes.
Yeah.
I feel, and I smile all the time. The biggest thing is people are like, I would smile and I'd post something on Facebook, or they'd see me and they're like, you're smiling. And I never noticed it, but looking back, I never smiled.
Yeah.
I was just down.
Yeah. And I think that's a thing that people don't realize. Like they people they want to drop 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever your goal is, 60 pounds, right? But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that the journey can change you so much more than that little thing. Like, sure, you drop some weight. Okay. But if you carry on, the changes hit every part of your life, don't they?
They do. Everything changed. Like my entire life in general changed. My eating habits, my sleep, my work, my entire daily routines, my exercise, because there was none. And now there's an abundance of it and I love it. But my entire life has shifted. And people are scared to change. I finally decided to do something about it. And I brought in things that I enjoy doing. And I was learning as I go, do I like this? I was trying new things. I was trying this. And I developed and found me again. And that's the biggest thing I can say is I found who I was because I didn't know. I was so lost.
Yeah, that's so huge. And I think that's the big part of it. People don't realize that, well, how hard it is. Maybe people realize that because they're stuck. Like it's hard to take that step because you don't want to, because you're, for right or for wrong, for misery or whatever, you're comfortable. You know how to do what you're currently doing. And this next thing we make up all this stuff. Well, I'm going to have to do all these things and it's going to be all this stuff. And you make up all these.
Yeah, you overcomplicate it in your head.
Yeah,
for sure you do. And it's again, you can break it down in simple structure. It's the fear of the unknown, whether you're unhappy, but you're comfortable because it's known, like exactly what you said. Didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. So I honestly leap of faith saying, I've seen you work wonders with people. I've seen you through our community for years. I've known who you are. I've reached out to you and I finally just said, you know what, let's do it. It's me. I realized that I'm the issue here. Like there's stuff available. So I decided finally, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, and I try to remind people too, it's 21 days.
That's the crazy thing about it. Yeah.
It's 3 weeks.
It went by really quick. It really did. I was actually shocked.
Yeah.
I was completely shocked when I was done and I took my before and after pictures because I was very diligent that way. I took my weight and a before picture the day I started May 4th.
Yeah.
And I took my weight and a picture the day the 21 day ended. And yeah, you see it every day, some change and stuff. I noticed, clothes and stuff fitting better and all these other changes happening, but you see yourself every day. So you don't see the drastic changes. The side-by-side picture. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Your brain micro adjusts to what it sees in the mirror every day. Like you see yourself in the mirror every day and your brain just micro adjusts. It goes, I don't really see a difference. I don't think this is working. I should probably just quit. At first.
Yeah. But I can see that for sure. Yeah.
But that's why those pictures are so powerful because they're undeniable.
They are.
And in 21 days, how much weight did you drop?
24 pounds.
24 pounds. Now, I always have to say, these results are not typical. The FDA does not clear and approve this message, all that kind of stuff. But because we get a range in 21 days, my average every single month is right around 6.7 to 7.4 pounds across the people in the group. That's the, now I've had 24, I've had 27, 21, 19. Sometimes it depends on, well, a lot of things. One is where your body's at in its willingness to change. And honestly, compliance with the manual, right?
Yeah.
And you did everything I asked you.
I did. And the reason why I did is whatever I was doing for how many years wasn't working. It clearly didn't work. So I relinquished all control and said, 21 days. Okay. It's not very long. You run my life. Seriously, you tell me how to do this because I don't know what I'm doing. And it was awesome. I did it and I fell into a groove and I'm a man of commitment. That's the thing in my life. Yes. It might take me a long time to get to somewhere, but as soon as I make my mind up, and it doesn't matter what it is, I'm in it 110% and I go and I love it. Yeah.
And I talk about that in the program. One of the daily mindset videos talks about the Latin word decidere, decide, which means to cut off. And it's burn your bridges. It's like I'm crossing over the bridge to the other side and I'm going to burn the bridge behind me. I'm not doing that anymore. And that decision is so powerful. It's also scary.
Oh, it's terrifying. I didn't know what I was doing. I literally did not have a clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
and I was vulnerable, like those the private groups and Facebook groups. I'm a very extroverted person. I'm very social.
Yeah.
And so that came out in the group too. And when I was so unhappy, I was still doing it. I forced myself out of my shell a little bit and said, I'm just going to give it my all. And I was posting and sharing and posting pictures of me doing stuff and stuff that I was in no bodily shape to be doing, but I was trying it.
Yeah.
And I made it public. And you know what? It helped me. And I did that to make myself accountable. The more people that see me doing it, I have eyes on me.
Yeah.
And that was huge for me.
And it's so powerful too, because what you did and what other people do, it's a gift to share that. I mean, that's been what I've been doing for 23 years now, since I made my journey. When I went from Pillsbury Doughboy to fit, you know, I went from 240 down to 185, and the same thing. It inspires other, because people permission. And I think there's a powerful piece too, where when people see that you're struggling, you're not in the mood, you don't feel like it, it's hard, you're tired, because they go, oh, okay, me too.
I don't do that.
But it gives them permission to go, geez, Louise, I just thought, you know, because people see you and they just think, holy cow, it must have been easy. No.
Sure. No, I sweat a lot.
But it's worth it, I think, is the fun part.
Oh, definitely. I look back and yes, there's a lot of work involved in it, and a lot of dedication and a lot of time spent doing it. Every second was worth it and more. I would do it all again 100 times over. There's not one thing I would change.
Yeah. Because I think people need to realize this is an investment, not a cost.
It is. And
it pays off.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, and again, I wasn't looking for a quick fix. Everyone's tried a quick fix, and I talk about it, and everyone asks me, how'd you do it? I say, oh, it's this magic pill I got. You know, works great. That's the best thing, is there's no weirdness. And that's the only way I can put it. There's no crazy, you can't eat this. You can only eat this. You have to pour this in and eat this with this. And you have to stand on one leg, and you have to sleep sideways, and you have to do this chant. There's nothing. It's actually normal food. You go to the grocery store, and that's it.
Yeah.
And my entire life has changed because I've blended it into my life to make it part of my life. So it's not like, oh, I can't go eat out with my friends and eat, or I can't do this and I can't do this. Well, no, I can. I can do whatever I want. I just make healthier choices.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's the trick too. Like, people want a diet that is, I always relate it to a pendulum. They want it to be no carb or no fat or no animal products or no, whatever it is. It doesn't matter whether it's carnivore or vegan or keto, or it doesn't matter. All these diets are pendulum way over on one side. I'm a big fan of the middle.
Yeah.
Some of all the things.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. Cause there's things we know that are not good for us. And so, you know, for the 21 days, we eliminate some key elements. And I think people at the start, they concern themselves with the elimination part, because it's, you know, it's 21 days of no grains, no dairy, no sugar. And people panic because those are my 3 favorite things. People will say,
what am I going to eat?
Yeah. But I think that people need to realize it's temporary. It's 3 weeks. And then you can start to introduce those things back if you choose to. And some people do, and a lot of people don't.
I remember talking to you about this, and we had the opening Zoom meeting for the 21 day. And I was that guy with the list. And I asked, what, why, how am I gonna, I do this every day. I've been doing this and yeah, it was just, again, the unknown. So you follow it and you change it, and it makes you realize how much better you feel without it. And you can still have them in small doses and here and there and stuff, but you learn to choose when and where to have them. Yeah,
because a lot of people, when they join us on the Zoom call for the information, and I want this to be an information. I'm not trying to make it sounds like it's a sales pitch for the 21 day program. No, well, that's not the intention, but it is what got us here, right? But when I tell people to start, like, look, it's no grains, dairy, and sugar for 3 weeks, people go, well, what am I supposed to have for breakfast? Because people are eating cereal, which is grains, dairy, and sugar. And right away, they're like, well, I'm screwed.
And more sugar.
Yeah. But when you show them, well, look, you could do this or this or this or this or this or this. And then they try it. I'm like, oh, this is actually delicious. This isn't a sacrifice. This is amazing.
Omelets. And it's crazy how much stuff you can have.
Yeah.
It is.
We call them SBI muffins, should be illegal muffins. They're brilliant. And
they're amazing.
Yeah. And then there's the quinoa candy. We call it quinoa candy because it tastes like you're cheating and having candy, but it's all healthy. So I think that's a big piece of it too, is finding, because you can't just say, I want you to stop doing all these things, but okay, well then what am I supposed to do? And I think that's the part that's missing in a lot of stuff is, well, what am I supposed to do?
Again, the unknown. What do? You're used to society's way of saying, okay, well, what do you have for breakfast? You have cereal and coffee.
Yeah.
And what do you have for lunch? Well, you go to a fast food restaurant and you have this and fries and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You can still have delicious food. I love it.
100%.
Yeah, it's even, I like it better. And that's saying a lot for me, because I did eat I ate a lot of junk food and I love this better. It tastes better.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how is your life different now? Like on a daily basis, like just whatever comes to your mind. How is your life different now that because you're down now? You started 247 and you're 182. So you're down 65 pounds since May 4th. And of course, all the Star Wars fans like, may the 4th be with you. Okay. I had to get that out of the way.
That's why I did it.
I had to say that, right? But you're down 65 pounds. Like, what things are different?
I have new pants.
Shopping, right?
Yeah, and the funny thing is I didn't have to shop, because I was one of the guys that have the skinny clothes in the closet.
Yes.
I have 3 different totes. I had my extra big clothes, which I was in, my not so big clothes but still too big, and then my skinny clothes, I call them. And I'm in my skinny clothes. I'm actually having to buy a little bit smaller now.
Yeah.
No, my life has changed so much. I have so many changes in my life. I don't even know where to start. Medically, let's start there.
Yeah. I remember that day so clearly.
I was on heart medication and I was on all these medications because I was unhealthy, and I was obese. I was obese. Look at the pictures. I had a lot of weight on my belly, and I was on all these high blood pressure medications, all these cholesterol medications. And as I worked out, I remember phoning you. I passed out at my house. I was working out. I was doing a HIIT workout in my living room, and I was unconscious.
And HIIT is high intensity interval training. So Steven had progressed to the point where I was giving him cardio sessions that were a little bit more intense.
Yeah. Again, when I get committed, I push. So I pushed, and I was doing this, and I passed out. And my 9-year-old son scooped me up, somehow picked me up, and I was still big at that time, and scooped me on the couch and fed me a banana because he thought it was my heart. And I phoned you and said, I don't know what's going on. And yeah, instantly you said, I bet you it's your heart medication. I bet you it's this. I bet you this. And
well, blood pressure was the big one I was concerned
yes.
about. Yeah.
So I went to my doctor, and yeah, my blood pressure at rest, and this was half an hour after I calmed down, was 90/42-ish.
It was in the basement.
I was done. Like, it was done. My body dropped. It was scary. And so it takes a while for that to recoup. But I went to my doctor, and he's like, give me the pills back. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
And I've checked it now, and I am textbook 120/78.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts.
And I remember that so clearly because, we were back and forth, and I was quite concerned for you, obviously. And as I was back and forth with a question and answer with you, and I realized, and I was like, okay, Steven, I'm not a doctor, so I'm outside of my pay grade here, but I'm willing to bet your blood pressure medication is no longer appropriate. Do you have a cuff? And you're like, yeah, somewhere. Yeah. And I remember you messaging me back. You're like, Scott, I did 3 readings. You're not going to believe this. My blood pressures, and you said the numbers, and I was like, yeah, you need to see your doctor immediately, because you've changed your health so drastically that all of the compensation medication, is what I call it, the compensation medication was no longer required.
Yeah, my body healed itself.
Yeah,
essentially.
Which is insane, right? But it's beautiful.
Well, and you listen to doctors. I don't know how many times I went to the doctor. He said, quit eating junk food, lose some weight, yada yada yada.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I did it. And even my doctor, I went and seen him, and he's like, holy crap, like, you are a completely different person. I said, I listened finally. It took me a few years, but I did. Yeah.
It's funny. A friend of mine in out east, he's a trainer, and he had a quote on his Facebook page that said, most people are digging their own grave with their teeth. I was like, oh, that's powerful.
It is.
They're digging your own grave with your teeth. And it's funny. Like, I study a lot. I read a ton of books. I have hundreds of books that I've read. I'm always trying to learn more things. I've been a personal trainer for 23 years. And I like to tell people, after 23 years, I have finally learned enough that I feel like I have graduated all the way to kindergarten. in the realm of nutrition knowledge, because there's so much to learn. And I think people don't understand too that medical science does not yet understand the human body. They don't know how the thyroid works, really. They don't know how they don't know how sleep works, really. We have hypotheses and guesses, but when you start to investigate fruits and vegetables, for example, the profound power contained within them that give us our health back. And as a society, we've surrendered them for fast food it's just hollow calories.
It is. And that's the key, though, I think, is fast food. We live in an age of convenience.
We do.
We definitely do. And that's with everything in life. And a little quick thing, if you're at the grocery store and you're at the quick line, right, the 12 items less, you watch yourself. You'll catch yourself counting other people's baskets or the items. And you'll stop yourself. But you're so in a rush for no reason to get back to your car.
Yeah.
So you can get back to your phone, so you can get back to everything else. It's like same as fast food. Those people, we're so quick in that. And that's where I'll say is this program's taught me my food is still fast, if not faster.
Yeah.
And I did a video on it and I shared it with you after. Meal prep. You hear people and you hear celebrities and all this stuff, meal prep, and you get these fancy containers and people doing it for them stuff. Well, I do my own meal prep. It takes a few hours a week on one day.
Like one day a week, it takes a few hours.
Sundays. And that's my day off where I don't exercise. So I relax, I have fun. I'm hang out in my shorts in my house and I play with my dog and my kids and I cook chicken while I'm watching TV and do whatever I want. But I make it all for the week and I freeze it and I package it up and I cut up my vegetables. I cut up everything, all my lunch snacks, everything. And so in the morning, which I throw eggs on the pan, boom, breakfast done. I have my lunch packed, and when I get home, it takes me 10 minutes to make myself.
I love that. So Steven made this video, just a little video of him in his little house at making supper. And it was brilliant. I loved it because, as a coach, there's so many things I can say and do, but people see it differently than when it's you who's not a coach. They're just like, well, this is what Coach Scotty said to do. So this is what I do. And this is the fridge, and you pull out your veggies and water, and you pull out your chicken pre-done, and you pull out this, and you just some of this, rumble, done. There's supper. And it took 4 minutes. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think they think it's going to be this big, crazy, arduous, where you have to become Chef Pierre, and I have to make this big fancy thing every meal. And that's not it. Yeah. It's like you said, it's that investment of some prep time. Yeah. Right. And it's so simple. Like when I barbecue chicken on Sunday, because I do the same thing, my barbecue is full. I have 30 pieces of chicken and I have 6 or 7 pieces of steak or whatever it is I'm making. Because if I'm going to barbecue, it doesn't take any longer to make 40 pieces of meat as it does to make 2.
Exactly.
And so that's it. You do it. When I make the SBI muffins, I make 24 of them instead of 12. Yeah, and now it covers Hillary and I for the whole week. Yeah. And so once a week I make muffins. It's not impossible. And I think that's the trick, that it's such a gift that gives back to you. And then whenever you're hungry, it's just right there.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you get hungry and now you're changing everything. You get tired and you got it. Meal prep's huge. And for the first little bit I didn't, I was figuring it all out, right? You're going to have some transition time. Figured it all out and how it worked in my life. I, changed the recipes around. They're always they're a good starter, right? For me, but I'm not a recipe guy. I never have been in my entire life. Yeah. So I knew it wouldn't work, but I took the bits and pieces that I could work with it, made it blend into my life so I could maintain it.
Yeah.
And it worked great. And so I decided I made my own food. And that was the best part about the programs is, make your own stuff, share it. And I did. I was like, I threw this, and this together. Good. Threw this, and this together. Not so good. Yeah. Like, don't do that one.
Tuna and peanut butter.
Yeah.
Fail.
Not a good one. But yeah, you mix it up and you get it to work with your life. And it saves so much time. It really does. But meal prep is massive. That's I swear by that. That saves my life. Like time-wise, I have so much time. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's any questions on the page, and I don't see anything there. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's a huge thing that I think people maybe don't get. Like when I give you this 90-page manual, and again, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch for the reset. It's not it at all. But any recipe book, if you don't make any of them, it's not helpful. No, and
so it needs to be simple. but it could be, even if you just learn one recipe that you love,
salad dressing.
Right? The homemade salad dressing.
There is some recipes I do use. That was the lie. There is definitely recipes I use.
Yeah, game changer, right? SBI muffins.
Yeah, I do those too.
Game changer. The banana nut porridge for some people, that's a game changer because you just changed breakfast and it's one recipe and that's all you need. You can just do it forever and ever.
Well, the omelets too, the quinoa, like
yeah.
So I lied, guys. I did. I do use the recipes, but I changed them so they work for me a little better.
Yeah.
So and there's not many ingredients. It's not like going to your normal recipes and it's like, oh, okay, I got to go to the store.
Right.
Because I'm missing 15 jars of weirdness.
Yes.
It's normal food. Okay, I need some of this, and this, and
yeah,
you're good.
And I think that's a big piece of it too, is that people think it has to be this big complex thing and it's not. And another thing people, I feel, fear is that it's going to be boring. Like they're afraid because, and I think that this has been damaged by the fitness industry for a long time, where especially bodybuilders, it was like chicken breast, green beans, and brown rice for the rest of your life. And if,
copious amounts of it.
Yeah. and after 2 weeks, you're ready to, move into A&W. Like you're toast. You can't sustain that.
Well, that's the sustainability and maintenance of it. You got to make sure it works for your life and be able to maintain it.
There has to be variety. It has to be fun. It has to be great. And well, here's the other fun thing that I love too. Now that you're like, so you did the 21-day program and then you did the 6-week program. And then you get to a point where now you can have a free meal once in a while.
Yes.
And so and it happens every time. I've been a trainer for 23 years. It's predictable. So tell me about the first time you had like a blowout free meal and you ate all the things you used to. And then how did that go?
So at first I was scared to eat it. I remember messaging you. I'm like, do I have to? And so I didn't do the first one.
Right.
Because I was just like, no, I want to lose so much weight. I got to do this and blah, blah. But then the second one I needed to.
Yeah.
Like I was at a point where I needed to shock my body. Right. Like we went through it with our meal plan and stuff. And I went right at it. And I went tacos. Tacos was my favorite. And I ate tacos and the wraps, right?
With all the things.
Yeah, everything. The cheese, the sour cream, and I'm like sour cream and everything. Because, I went to town. I ate 5 soft tacos. 5. At like, if you're counting calories, and I wasn't, because we're not counting calories then. It was 350, 400 each. Like I was over 3,000 calories just from that. Then I ate chips, salsa, and I had a pop.
Yeah.
And I felt like garbage. Like I had the sweats.
Yeah.
Like, and the next day I felt bloated and my stomach hurt. And so what I did is I pushed it out by exercising more. I had to get rid of it. But after I got back into it, I felt great again. So I learned a distinction of what's in that.
Yeah.
And what made me feel bad.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. I remember I went to town on it, but I definitely felt the difference.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Like, and people think, God, Scott, you're a coach. Why are you allowing people to do this? I'm like, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, if you've been on a prolonged period of dieting, there can be a point where you now need to do an overfeed. Now, obviously, if you use great food for your overfeed, it's better. But people inevitably, especially like yourself, you did back-to-back, right? So you did 21-day program and you did a 6-week program. So, well, all of a sudden now you're 9-10 weeks of strict. There's that little kid in you that wants to have a cookie or whatever, right? And if you deny that little voice too long, it becomes a war, and that's not healthy either. So it's fun to just say, people, you know what? Just give her. Because what I know is if you've been 9 to 10 weeks of eating great, and then you have this indulgence of all that crap, you're going to realize how awful that stuff is. It's terrible. And because your engine backfires.
Oh yeah.
And it runs a little rough.
It was for a while. Like exercising wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I was bloated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
Well, and there's so many pieces to this where the body can self-repair when you feed it well. So I mean, I want to wrap this up here pretty soon. I can't believe half an hour has gone by. Can you believe it? Like, so it's really fun. But why should somebody make a change. Again, I don't want this to be a commercial for my program. That's not it. It's for anybody, for any reason, whoever they coach with, I don't care. But why should somebody make a change? I mean, from 247 to 182, your life is so different. Why should somebody make a difference in their life this way?
I just say, look at those pictures that I put up that you shared. And I did that for a reason, is I took pictures with shirt on. I remember I sent to you, and I took pictures of shirt off.
Yeah.
I chose to share the ones with shirt off, and I've shared it with strangers. I've shared it with people, family, friends, all over social media and in real life, I call it. And people are like, oh, that's vulnerable. Like, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you? No way. I am absolutely 100% incredibly proud, and I love it. And if I can share that, and I share that with people, saying, get healthy. Yeah. I hate, and you can see it again. I talk about how angry and grumpy and terrible I looked. I felt even worse.
Yeah.
I felt 10 times worse than I looked. And I was beating myself up for so long. And I've learned a whole different way of life. And it's slowly by just doing simple changes in life. It's not big, massive steps where you got to change your entire life. It comes slowly.
Yeah.
Like, the meal preps come slowly, the mindsets come slowly, and and we talk about your programs because that's what I chose to do. And I've seen it. Right.
Sure.
And I will definitely praise those to anybody because they are amazing. Do it for you. And my kids, my kids notice huge difference. My work is better. My everything is better.
Yeah.
And I quit coffee.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. I drank a lot of coffee, but I chose to.
Yeah.
I did for a bit to get, and you give the options, right? You can, it'll help for these reasons. We won't go into it right now, but I've changed a lot of aspects, and I haven't, like you said, I haven't gone back because I've made that distinction and realization. Well, okay, why would I do that? Right. Mm-hmm. And anybody that's even thinking about it, and I've shared that, you're even thinking about possibly maybe one day considering it. Like, if it's just back there in your head, like mine was for 2 years, just look into something. Try slowly, go for a walk once a day after you eat for 20 minutes. Just do that for a week.
Yeah. And
you'll notice a change. You will. And that's what I did. Slowly, I noticed a change. So what did I do? I threw more onto it.
Yeah.
And I noticed a bigger change. And I threw more onto it. And I was like, hey, this is awesome. And now I do so much stuff. I did over 1,000 kilometers on my bike last month and did it for a charity. And I'm doing all this stuff because I love it.
And you can.
And I can, and I want to. And that's the thing is I get excited, like, oh, I want to. Winter's coming. Yes, I said it. I'm sorry.
Don't swear.
It's coming. So I freaked out. I started panicking a little bit in my head, like, oh. So I went out and bought a fat bike, a big fat tire bike, because I'm like, I love biking. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bike. And I'm the kind of person, because I ride BMX, I'm going to go where you're not supposed to go. Right? I see a weird hill or a big climbing, I'm going to go there. So I bought this fat tire bike, and I'm getting studded tires for it so I can ride on the lake. I think that's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so much fun.
And I've lived in Sylvan for I don't know how long, and I'm relearning new aspects of it. My entire life's changed, and I feel so much better. And I don't know, it's the cliche thing. I'm just an average guy, an average life, but it's insane. Yeah. It is completely life-changing.
Well, there's a couple of things I want to dovetail on what you've said. One is, I say this all the time, but you can't save the world if you're a suffering clod of ailments that is miserable. You've got nothing to give. And I say this all the time. When you fly in an airplane, it says right in the intro piece, put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. And that's exactly what you did. You put an oxygen mask on yourself, and now you're this beacon of awesome. It's made this huge difference in everybody around you. Like, you're saving other people's lives because they see your pictures, and you are that catalyst that makes somebody go, you know what, maybe I can do that. And that's mighty.
I get phone calls all the time, or just even like people that'll see it, people I know, people I don't know, people I know, people that I know from distance.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard your name from this guy. What did you do? And I tell him I just changed some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what are you on the Atkins? Are you on that? No, I'm not. Like, definitely not. And I don't like the word diet because I've tried so many of them.
Sure.
I've changed my life. I've decided to do normal stuff. And I call it normal because it is normal.
Yeah.
What I was doing before wasn't. And that's the psychology part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeding your body garbage is not normal.
No, in society, it's socially accepted, but
Yes,
it is not.
but it doesn't make it right.
No,
Yeah.
100%.
I wrote a book back in the early 2000s called If Your Body Were a Car, You Wouldn't Treat It This Way. And you would never fill your car up with water or dirt or mud, or you wouldn't put propane in a diesel engine. But here we do it all the time.
Oh man.
People are feeding themselves garbage. You're like, I don't understand why this body doesn't work. Well,
yeah, you blame other people and other things, right? Like, oh, I can't do that. It hurts. My back hurts. All this stuff hurts. Oh, there's one. My back doesn't hurt anymore.
Right.
Weird. I don't have 60 pounds of mass on my front.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have that in common too. I broke my back in high school and my back always used to hurt when I was out of shape. Once I got fit, my back hasn't bugged me since.
Yeah, my chiropractor said it best. He always called it. He's like, well, if you lost your frontal mass,
yeah,
you wouldn't feel so bad. And it was the most polite way of calling me fat that I've ever had. And I really enjoyed that.
Mass.
But I say it all the time now. I share it. It's like, I had some frontal mass.
Yeah. Some frontal mass.
A lot of it.
Yeah. And one of the things I think that you said too that I love is that it's a series of micro habits. It's little tiny changes, and they're boring. Drink a little more water, have a little more vegetables. Like, they're boring, but when you make these tiny little shifts, it's profoundly powerful.
It is, and massively. Water is a huge one. I remember talking to you day one. I never drank water. I drank
coffee.
Minimum 5 of these a day. Minimum of coffee. That was my water, because there's water in there somewhere. And I never drink water. Maybe every 5th day I'd wake up and be like, and I'd rush and do the
guzzle a little bit.
Oh, it'd be good for
just to stay alive. Yeah.
And now, like, I drink, I think 2 of these if I'm not working out. If I'm riding bike, sometimes 4.
Yeah.
And it's not because I have to or because I want to. It's because I have to. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, you're thirsty. Yeah,
it's crazy, and that changes dramatically.
Yeah, absolutely. It allows your body to do all the things it needs to do: flush toxins, process and metabolize fat, get rid of all of that. Your body's 45 to 70% water. And when I do body compositions on people, a lot of them are starting at 40-45%. They're in the very, very, very bottom end at survival mode. And coffee, it's we love it. It's tasty and it does all these neat things, but it's a compensation. It allows you, because it's a stimulant, it allows you to eat garbage, treat your body like crap, and still have enough energy to get through the day. It's a masking compensation device.
Yeah, it's like putting nitrous oxide in an engine.
Yeah,
you run crappy gas, your car will go. Just hit it with a shot of NOS.
Shot of NOS, and you'll go fast. Yeah,
you're gonna hurt your engine though. You will eventually hurt your engine.
Yeah. Well, speaking of water, I wanted to gift you with a Warrior Code training shaker cup. All right, this is kind of fun. So that's a gift to you.
Awesome, thank you.
And I just really wanted to say thanks for taking the time. I hope that people that see this, it's inspiring, or it's maybe you learned a little bit or whatever from it. People like you, the world needs to hear from stories like this, because that's another thing. There's so much garbage and quagmire and yuck out there. And if you watch the news or you see your social feeds about the negative and the yuck and the gross and the ugly, you begin to feel gross and yuck and ugly, and you're vibrating downward. And this simple act of feeding yourself well, taking care of yourself, moving your body, is a spiral upward.
Yep. I think that's the motion of energy in life. If you surround yourself with negativity, that's going to rub off on you. Same thing about positivity.
Yeah.
It'll go the other way. And it's I love it. And every person in the groups, that's what I love. I'm going to talk about that quickly. And all the people in the groups pushed me and helped me, whether they knew it or not.
Yeah.
And that community there, met some amazing people. Still contact with them, still post and share and stuff. But building it and having little games, like we started the sweating game, right?
Yeah, Steve's moisture monologue. My gosh, that was so fun. And it was great. We started to have competing photos to see who could have the sweatiest t-shirt or the goofiest sweat stain or the most dribbles off their forehead. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and it's fun. And you know what? We still do that. I don't post every day now because I got a lot of other stuff going on, but I still post every now and then. I'll share it because that becomes fun, that little community, right? And that positivity. And I've had people message me privately after that and say, you know what, this is awesome. You're helping me. Just looking at it makes me feel better. You know what? I didn't feel like doing anything, but then I see you soaked and you have like a weird Phoenix sweat stain and you're like taking pictures and sharing it with us and trying to name it or whatever, trying to do something with it. They're like, that just makes me want to go do something.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
It is. It's community. And I think that is what really matters, is community. Well, we had the barbecue at my house here, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, or whatever, where a bunch of us got together and we had a healthy barbecue and everybody had a fantastic time. It was a brilliant experience. Like, I love healthy living is possible. You surround yourself with people that are up to the same thing as you. Yeah. And I'm working hard too. I've actually looking at a new platform now called locals.com, where I can build a private group that's not on Facebook. Facebook groups are kind of fun, but it's somebody else's sandbox. So I'm trying to build my own sandbox that I think we can do a better job of connecting in, that isn't Facebook.
Well, you can build
it's a community that goes and grows over and over.
Growing community, right?
Yeah.
Like the faith groups for your 21 day and your 6 week, they're all segregated to the time frames. Right?
That's right.
So you got, you'll have 10 blocks of 10 separate groups. Sometimes they bleed into each other.
Yeah.
And we all know each other and we get, but yes, that'd be awesome.
That's what I'm up to next, is creating a group that grows every next session. So there's going to be the monthly group, but then there's the overall group. But when you finish the monthly, you join the overall, and that just builds and builds and builds. And we get to stick together in this.
It's like the biggest loser.
The biggest loser. You are one of the biggest losers. So awesome, Steven. I don't know. I'm just going to see if there's any questions that I missed. I know we've got a couple ladies on the line with us right now. If you have any questions, that would be awesome. Let me know. Otherwise, I think what we're going to do. Oh, Sarita says, amazing job, both of you. Thank you. Suzanne or Tanya, if you've got any questions or whatever, you can certainly throw something in the chat box. But otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap it up with Steven Bedford. I'm super proud of you, buddy. You've become a great friend, and it's just been an honor to play a small part in your journey, because you've done all the work. I mean, I showed you the way, but you did everything. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And yes, I owe, and I've said it lots, I owe everything to you, because you gave me the tools to put in my toolbox. And without that, I wouldn't be able to do what I did. And anybody, that's all I got to say, is anybody thinking about it, and you don't even have to be wanting to do it right now. If it's been there, just take a look at some things, try something small. I didn't even do that. I looked for years and I bug Scott every 6 months. Hey, can I buy a treadmill? Yeah. Oh, I got to run on that. But I did that. And I was so unhappy. And then I should have just started slowly, and I would have been this way so much earlier, but I'm not going to dwell in the past. And I thank you. And it's been awesome. And I'm going to keep going. So that's awesome. Yeah. The best time to start is yesterday. The next best time is right now. Exactly. 100%. Well, that's awesome. I'm going to wrap this up. I've got, thank you for sharing your story. Hopefully this gives me some motivation to start again and keep going. That's fantastic. I appreciate that. Awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate, Steven, just taking the time to talk to people. If we can help somebody out there, whether it's my program or a different program, I don't care, but we can inspire somebody to change their life, for the benefit of everyone, because that's the thing we can control. Yeah. And I've mentioned to a million people, and I hope I get a million phone calls or emails about this, or Facebook posts about this, is find my page, Facebook me. I'm riding my bike all the time through Sylvan. Yeah. You want a bike ride? Let's go. Yeah. I'm a community guy. That's a good way to build friendships and communities too. I'll go riding with you. Yeah. It's fun. I'm going to be out anyway. Come sweat. Absolutely. Brilliant. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to click end. It's been a pleasure. Thanks again, Steven. No problem. Thank you. Okay.